to the Super Bowl. You only win a Super Bowl 2 times every 5 years, right? Oh!
The warm-up act is over. Let's bring in Melissa Etheridge, massive Chiefs fan. Melissa.
Super Bowl champion, 2-time Pro Bowler, and Trent Green. Trent Green, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
He picked it up! He picked it up! He's gonna score!
And we'll see you next week. But until then, as always, go Chiefs.
Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict pregame show. My name is Bryce Carter. Thank you so much for joining us as the Kansas City Chiefs are set to play on Sunday Night Football as they host the Houston Texans in Arrowhead on what is a chilly night here in Kansas City. It is now or never for your Kansas City Chiefs. They get some help today. We'll go over the key inactives. We'll talk about the weather report. We'll talk about some of the key stats heading into this game and talk about the biggest storylines and biggest players. As you hop in the chat, feel free to share this, like this video, have people join in on what we're doing here. We think we have a pretty good pregame. We'll also have a great halftime show and postgame. So do be joining us in there. Share this. This is a lot more fun than watching pregame and highlights of the games before, as we are focused in on the Chiefs. As we said before, we'll start with the inactives, and that is quite significant for the Kansas City Chiefs this week. There was a little speculation that maybe the Chiefs could get one of their offensive linemen back in this game. Obviously, earlier this week, the Chiefs placed rookie left tackle Josh Simmons on injured reserve with a wrist injury. Then they still have Trey Smith injured. He left the game injured against the Colts and did not play against the Cowboys. And Jawan Taylor is also inactive with a tricep injury. So the Chiefs will be down 3 starting offensive linemen in this game. That's obviously been the biggest talking point around this game. Other inactives include Christian Fulton, Jalen Royals, the wide receiver, Elijah Mitchell, the running back, and Nico Remigio, the primary kick and punt returner. That will be something to watch in this game. I don't see any path for this game to be some sort of shootout, particularly. Knowing how things go, maybe that will be the case since I just said that. But whoever's going to be returning punts, maybe it's Xavier Worthy, maybe it's Brashard Smith. Not sure who is going to be doing punt and kick return duty. I know Tyquan Thornton and Brashard Smith have helped out with that on kickoff. Not sure about punt. The Chiefs cannot afford any mistakes in that area. No muffed punts, because their margin for error is very, very low today with the defense that they are facing. So something to keep an eye on there with the punt and kick return game. For the Texans, nothing really significant here. Wide receiver Braxton Berrios, quarterback Graham Mertz, Elijah Hussle, the corner, Jamarcus Ingram, the corner, Solomon Byrd, the defensive end, Jamal Hill, the linebacker, and Jarrett Kingston, the tackle. There were some questions whether second-year cornerback Kamari Lassiter from Georgia would be playing in this game. He is active. He has been battling through a foot injury, but he will be playing in this game. So really, and we've already hit on it, but protection is going to be the biggest storyline in this game. Chiefs, the only thing I will give them here is, and I've heard a lot of people compare this to the Super Bowl against the Eagles and the Buccaneers, and it's easy to see why your mind would go there as far as the Chiefs' inability to protect against a great defensive line. The only thing I will say here is the Chiefs very clearly know that this is a huge issue. I think that there was a little bit of arrogance in those other games that they could just make it work. If you remember in the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, Eric Fisher gets hurt very late in that game, and the offense was still high-soaring that entire season as Mitch Schwartz had struggled. Once Eric Fisher goes down, that happened late. That's when things really kind of started to unravel in that Super Bowl. Same with Joe Thuney at left tackle and Mike Caliendo at left guard. The Chiefs were, honestly, we felt like Joe Thuney was the answer at left tackle for right there, the best answer the Chiefs could have. And that did not go well in the Super Bowl either. So maybe, just maybe, they won't play as coy as they did in those Super Bowls where they just got, no game plan can survive the amount of pressure that they were seeing in those games. So the Chiefs are going to have to game plan around that. That for the as in a dome, playing on a cold night here in Kansas City. It is 29 degrees currently in Kansas City with 7-mile-an-hour winds. I will tell you, as a man who just had to run out to get his AirPods out of his car, it feels a lot colder than that. It is 28 through 25 degrees by the time the game is over. No precipitation or significant wind change. So cold night here in Kansas City. We will see how the Texans handle that and how the Chiefs handle it. Good news is for the Chiefs, they are adapted to it. They are adapted to it. And the Texans, good news for them, defense always works and it travels well, as they say. So we will see how that plays out. Let's talk about the Houston Texans, who are 3.5-point underdogs here as they come into Kansas City. They are 7-5 currently, third in the AFC South. By the way, the Chiefs, again, this is all in front of them. They get quite a bit of help today. With the chance of the Eagles beating the Chargers on Monday Night Football, and if the Chiefs were to win this game, the Athletic Football Playoff Simulator would have the Chiefs at a 54% chance to make the playoffs. You get the Jaguars beating the Colts. By the way, Daniel Jones leads that game with a Achilles injury, so that seems pretty significant. That team is unraveling right now. And then you also get what was the other game that went there? Oh, you also get the Steelers beating the Ravens. And again, the Ravens, their remaining schedule is very tough. Guys, the Ravens might not win another game. And by the way, the Chiefs have the tiebreaker over the Ravens too. The Ravens play the Bengals, who are much saltier with Joe Burrow back. They play the Patriots, who are contending for the 1 seed in the AFC. They play the Packers, who are a very good team. And then they play the Steelers again, the team that they just lost to. So it is all right in front of the Chiefs here, but they have to take care of business, and that starts tonight on the field in Arrowhead. Statistically, the head coach for the Houston Texans is DeMeco Ryans, former player, great head coach, defensive mind. Nick Caley, a Josh McDaniels prodigy area from New England, is the offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator Matt Burke, quarterbacked by CJ Stroud, the third-year man out of Ohio State. Offensively, this is a little deceiving. You're going to read through some of these stats. There's quite a few games of Davis Mills in here, as CJ Stroud was dealing with a little bit of an extended concussion. And also, this Texans offense is kind of surging here lately. It is better than what the numbers say. They are 19th in yards, 22nd in points, team total DVOA 8th. So that factors in special teams, offense, defense, offensive DVOA. They are 24th. So bottom half or bottom third of the league. Special teams DVOA, they are 18th. EPA per play, they are 17th. Rush yards, 23rd. Their ground game is mainly Nick Chubb and rookie Woody Marks, who is coming on and left the game with an ankle injury last week, but appears he will play. EPA per rush, they are 23rd. Pass yards, they are 17th. 14th in EPA per drop back. They rank 13th in success rate. And CJ Stroud's quarterback PFF rating of 24th in the league. Really, this offense, it was a similar story to what the Chiefs are facing tonight. At first, they were really, really struggling to protect CJ Stroud. The offensive line has been a huge story there. Surprisingly enough, something that's really worked for them, and maybe the Chiefs take a page out of their playbook. The Texans play 6 offensive linemen quite a bit. They have found a rotation that's starting to work for them. Arion Urshri, a rookie from Ruskin High School here in Kansas City, is the starting left tackle for them. He's been playing better. They've got Trent Brown playing right tackle for them now. So it'll be interesting to see how the Chiefs are able to handle this offense. Again, CJ Stroud does not do particularly well with pressure. So hopefully the Chiefs can find a way to get pressure with 4 or start bringing the blitz. Defensively for the Texans, this is where this game really is going to be won and lost. Guys, this Texans defense just doesn't really have a weakness. It is stout, and I think the thing that makes it, I see someone asking if Dameon Pierce is active for the game. Dameon Pierce was not elevated from the practice squad. He will not be dressing for this game. It sounded like, I'll be honest, guys, I would look at Dameon Pierce similar to what Tyquan Thornton was last year, where he was added to the roster as a next year thing more than a this year thing. And hey, that's worked out really good for the Chiefs, except whenever they just stop using Tyquan Thornton. So we will see about Dameon Pierce, but it's nice to have another talented body on the roster. Defensively, they are first in yards, first in points. They are the best defense in the NFL. They are second in DVOA, first in EPA per play allowed, third in rush yards allowed, 10th in EPA per rush, fourth in pass yards, first in EPA per a drop back, and seventh in sacks. And they play a highly ethical form of defense where they don't use a lot of disguises, no sim pressures, no stunts, no blitz. Like, they don't blitz very often. They're just lining up with 4, and they're going to play man coverage behind it and say, here it comes, buddy. You need to stop it. And they've got the dudes to do it. The only thing I will say about the Texans defense is Travis Kelce had 2 pretty good games against the Texans last year. Nothing's changed about their linebacking core. It's still Azeez Al-Shaair and the linebacking core. So, and that also is a Rashee Rice place. So maybe they try to attack the linebacking core. They've got some really good safeties. Jalen Petrie, he really triggers downhill well. He's a good in-the-box guy. And then obviously Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter, a very good cornerback tandem. And we'd be remiss if we don't say the names of Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. We're going to be terrorizing Wanya Morris and Jalen Moore all game. Pete Sweeney of the Kansas City Star reported on Twitter a few minutes ago that Wanya Morris is taking practice reps at left tackle. The Chiefs have been pretty committed to putting Morris at left tackle and Jalen Moore at right tackle, despite the fact that Wanya Morris played right tackle in college, and Jalen Moore has played almost all of his NFL snaps at left tackle. I'm not sure what the thinking is there, but I know that there was a lot of contention around that. For your Kansas City Chiefs, they are 6-6, third in the AFC West. They are 6th in offensive yards fielded, 10th in points, 6th in total DVOA, team total again. So actually better than the Texans, who are 8th, despite the Texans and the Chiefs both fighting to make the playoffs right now. EPA per play, they are tied for first place. They are one of the most efficient. They are tied for the most efficient offense in the NFL, and they are 6-6. 16th in rush yards, 3rd in EPA per rush. A lot of that is Patrick Mahomes. They are 3rd in offensive DVOA, 5th in pass yards, 3rd in EPA per a drop back, and Patrick Mahomes is the 11th ranked quarterback via Pro Football Focus. Defensively, the Chiefs have kind of been struggling here of late defensively. I think they're allowing something like 26.5 points per game since the Buffalo game. They have been dreadful on 3rd and long. That is something that haunted them all game against the Cowboys, is that they could not get off the field in 3rd and long. So that is something that they have to get better at this week if they want to be able to keep these Texans out of the playoffs and get the Chiefs back into the playoffs. 8th in yards, 6th in points for the Chiefs defense. Those numbers are pretty good. The advanced analytics do not like the Chiefs defense nearly as much. 18th in defensive DVOA, 18th in EPA per play, 9th in rush yards allowed, 22nd in EPA per rush, 12th in pass yards allowed, 14th in EPA per dropback, and a putrid 27th in the league in sacks. The Chiefs have went over 11 quarters without a sack of the quarterback. And by the way, that was the first quarter of the Denver game. One of those was a just purely unblocked blitz by Shamari Connor on the first snap of the game for Denver, and then Chris Jones had a sack in that first quarter too. Since then, they have not had a sack of the quarterback, and that's where this has to start. Really, when you're looking at this game, the Chiefs defense, they need to come out and have a game. Okay, you're getting a dome team outside in the cold. They don't run the ball particularly well. CJ Stroud isn't particularly great under pressure. This is a time for the Chiefs defense to step up, right? Like the Chiefs offense has carried this team several times this year and has been the better unit, but this is the time that they need their defense to step up. So hopefully Steve Spagnuolo and the gang is ready to go, and the Chiefs pass rush, like that's a spot that it has to get better. So we're talking about CJ Stroud struggling under pressure, right? He is 12th in the league at EPA per dropback when under pressure. Quarterbacks ahead of him: Michael Penix, Justin Fields, Spencer Rattler, Baker Mayfield, right? Those are not names that really instill confidence. CJ Stroud versus the blitz, 47 completion, or 510 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not exactly great numbers. This is something that I think actually does matter a lot and might help the Chiefs with their coverage. via Next Gen Stats, a deep pass of 20 air yards or more. CJ Stroud is the worst quarterback in the NFL at deep passes like that. He is not the worst. He is one of the worst. So he is ahead of Dylan Gabriel, Justin Fields, Michael Penix, Mac Jones, Marcus Mariota, and Aaron Rodgers. He has a 28.1% completion percentage on those passes. He has completed 9 passes of 20 air yards or greater. So they are not pushing the ball down the field. You know what this passing offense is going to be? It's going to be Nico Collins. They're starting to mix in the rookie from Iowa State, Jaden Higgins, more and more. Christian Kirk is there as an auxiliary piece. And then Dalton Schultz is the tight end, who's, kind of a lot of like what they saw with Jake Ferguson against the Cowboys, who's more of a push and pester blocker and a guy who can just get out there. Nick Chubb and Woody Marks, this really should be a place where the Chiefs defense is able to get something going against this offense. I personally think that this offense probably, if you can hold them to 15 to 19 points, that's a pretty nice margin for the Chiefs offense. But there really should not be an excuse for this offense to be carving up the Chiefs defense, even with what we've seen the last couple of weeks. The only thing I will say, Jaden Higgins and Nico Collins, if you squint your eyes, they can look a lot like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I do not necessarily think that they are that talented. Collins is that level of receiver. Jaden Higgins is just a rookie, but both those guys are your 6'3", 220-pound, 215-pound wide receivers that can go up and win at the catch point. Are the Chiefs just going to sit back and allow these, shallow crosses and slants without inside leverage from the corners? Or are they going to get up there and play press man? Nico Collins is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL against press man coverage. There's no need for the Chiefs to try to be cute here. Get McDuffie in the slot. I think this is a game that Noel Williams actually would be a great option on the outside. Chris Roland Wallace was placed on IR. He still has that back injury that is lingering, and the Chiefs were pretty committed to him playing in the slot. He had a great game against the Colts before he got hurt. I really think Noel Williams, Jalen Watson on the outside, McDuffie on the inside is probably this team's best alignment. They will move Collins around. They've got some smaller guys, Jalen Noel from Iowa State as well, and Christian Kirk are very similar players. In fact, my comp for Jalen Noel in our draft profile was Christian Kirk. That's a spot that McDuffie can win, right? And shut down the slot and let those bigger guys try to go and get against Collins and Higgins and see what happens and try to bring pressure. Ideally, you're not having Nick Bolton try to cover Woody Marks or Dalton Schultz. Yeah, it does feel like we have seen quite a bit of Connor in the slot. The only thing I will say about that is when we are criticizing the Chiefs, which, let's be real, there's been plenty of opportunities to do that here of late. They've made it perfectly easy. The one thing I will say, they did not want to play Shamari Connor in the slot. Whenever everyone was healthy, they were not playing him in the slot. It's just happened now. I do think that they realize that there's limitations there. Looking through the chat here, when the Chiefs have the ball, right? Like we've talked about this, it's very obvious, and it feels almost worth repeating again. The Chiefs cannot screw around with this defensive line. The only thing I will say, most of the pressure comes off of the edge in this, which honestly is something that Patrick Mahomes has struggled with a little bit more than he has interior pressure. So they're going to have to navigate that. Expect a lot of tight ends staying in and seeing like 3-man routes. Honestly, I see no reason why you don't play with 2 tight ends in this game as much as possible, or a tight end and a back, and have both of them helping as much as possible. I would expect with the amount of main coverage you're going to see, this would be a pretty good game for Patrick Mahomes scrambling. If you're someone who's looking to get a little action on the game, or maybe some underdog action in this game, they're going to play a lot of man coverage. Mahomes is going to be running. He's going to trying to break, contain, and get on the run. I think this could be a big scramble game. If Patrick Mahomes has 60 yards rushing in this game, it will become his season high rushing in his career. So that's kind of interesting that he's rushed the ball so much. I also think that this game, it's going to be a Rashee Rice and a Travis Kelce game. I do not like the chances of Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy having success against Lassiter and Stingley. Not just because of how good they are, but also like their build and those type of players versus like what Stingley and Lassiter are. That's just not a matchup that you love. Rashee Rice is, and you want to go back to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I think him not being there is a player that really could have helped. With that being said, the Texans are a great defense at limiting yard after catch. Now, they do actually miss quite a bit of tackles, though, but they love to crash down on everything. So if you can hit one of those mesh routes to Rashee Rice for a big gain, or one of those shallow crosses, if you can get Kelsey open underneath, that's what it's going to take. And the reason why I say those guys is because you need someone who can get open quickly. Patrick Mahomes, when throwing the ball quickly, has always been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Because when Patrick Mahomes knows where he's going with the ball, good things happen. Right now in the NFL, so Next Gen Stats qualifies quick throws as 2.5 seconds or under. Patrick Mahomes is 13th in the NFL with 0.13 EPA per drop back, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He leads the league in yards and he's second in the NFL in yards on quick passes with 1,300 yards, a passer rating of 101.4. He's averaging 5.9 yards per attempt with a 75% completion percentage with quick throws under 2.5 seconds. So you're going to have to get the ball out quickly. I saw some chatter about Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the chat. He is not active for this game. He was not elevated from the practice squad because he's not on the active roster. They have 4 practice squad elevations for him. I believe they've used those twice, maybe 3 times. So it will be Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, and Brashard Smith in this game. Speaking of another player that can provide some quick outs, some quick wins for this offense to get the ball out of their hands and not have that pass rush, Brashard Smith is another guy that, it's hard to pick him and say, wow, this guy could have a major impact on this game. It's hard to describe anything that he's done this season as major. The guy's got 29 rushes for 87 yards, 19 receptions for 161 yards. But can he break open one screen? Can he turn an explosive play? Those explosive plays are going to be massive in this game. The Chiefs, even though the protection is what it is, they will roll the pocket. We've seen these pass protection sets where they're pulling guards and stuff. They might bring you and I out of the stands to help pass protect in this game, but they're going to try to push the ball down the field at least once or twice just to show the Texans that they can do it. Can they hit on one of those? Can they get explosives? Also, the Chiefs have to take care of the ball in the red zone. 2 out of the 6 losses the Chiefs have had, 3 out of the 6 losses the Chiefs have had, there's been a turnover in the red zone. Patrick Mahomes' interception against the Broncos, a Patrick Mahomes tipped ball that turns into an interception against the Eagles, and the Patrick Mahomes pick 6 against the Jaguars. This is a team that the margin for error is very small right now. And none of this playoff predictor and all that stuff matters if the Chiefs lose this game. They might still sneak in, but you lose the ability to control your fate. You control your own fate right now, win all the games, and you're in. That's like almost certain now. And like I said, with the Colts struggling, with Jones hurt, with the Ravens struggling, I seriously don't think that the Ravens are going to win another game. This is a chance right here. These next 2 games against the Chargers and against the Texans. So we will see if they have the stuff of champions. If this is a real team or are they just tired and ready to be done? We will see. Let's get some score predictions going here as we start to wrap up the show. As I mentioned before, we do this before every game. Here at Arrowhead Addict, this is where Chiefs fans come to talk about the Chiefs. We have a show almost every single day of the week, winning or losing. We are here talking about the Chiefs. We have great written work on the website, arrowheadaddict.com. We're starting to gear up a ton of draft coverage here, too, as we start getting closer and closer to that season. As the college football playoffs were set today, it's an exciting time to be a football fan. Lots of great football coming up, and let's hope the Chiefs are a part of it. So be sure to join us. I cannot pick this game to be a high-scoring affair, and I cannot pick the Chiefs to win anything big, right? Personally, for me, I'm picking the Chiefs 19-17, and the only reason why I'm picking the Chiefs is because they've played better at home. You've got a indoor team, outdoor, and I I guess I still foolishly believe in the Chiefs to just get it done. Kate, cornered animals bite, and I think that's what you've got here in Kansas City, and I hope that that's true. Going over the chat here, Major Chip has the Chiefs, I'm assuming 23-20. Jalen Butler has the Chiefs 24-17. Kansas City 21-20 from Nick's Travel. Angry Drunken German has a field goal bowl 12-9. Jeez. Look, my mother's just upstairs dropping my son off after spending some time with him today, and she's like, "Well, have fun watching the game." And I was like, "I will not. This will not. Out of all the outcomes that are going to happen in this game, I will not have fun. It's just a fact. Okay, there is no fun, high flying, blowout win available. This is going to be clawing, nail biting, splinters underneath your fingernails for 4 hours. It's just how it's going to be. Settle in for your weekly suffering of Kansas City Chiefs football. It's just the way it's going to be. But you just hope that the Chiefs can out execute and make the few big plays. Here we go. We got someone willing to say, I actually think the Chiefs win easy, 31-14. My brother in Christ, I hope you are right. I hope you are right. I would love to see that. So excuse me. Slothy also has them winning 87-13. I think those are Taylor Swift numbers. Well, I know Kelsey. Yeah, 13's her number. Okay. So he's still committed to the bit. Chiefer as the Chiefs win at 17-13. We will see. We'll be here talking about the game at halftime. So join us instead of listening to those really cringy halftime shows. Come hang out with us at halftime. And then afterwards, we'll be having a post-game celebration or sob fest, whatever happens. We'll be lowering the Chiefs on the ground or, talking about what this means for their playoff runs. And then join us back on Monday, my show, The Intangibles. We review the All-22, come back and talk about what we've seen on the tape and talk about what's coming up the next week. So these are some key games in Kansas City, so lock in with us here at Arrowhead Addict. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you to producer Sean, and we will see you at halftime. Go Chiefs.